Hello and welcome back to Ebenezer Cottage Garden. So first of all, apologies that I haven't been posting any videos for the past few weeks. I've been working really hard on the new greenhouse base. So the foundations are nice and solid. I'm not a bricklayer, but I'm just trying to get it as level as I can so that when the structure goes up, and I'm fingers crossed it's all done in a couple of weeks, that it's not kind of honky-tonk, that it's nice and straight. But today, because I'm still struggling for space out there with all the chaos that's going on, I'm going to be planting some potatoes in containers, and also I've got some carrots that I'm going to sow in containers as well. And I also wanted to show you this beautiful orchid that I've got, which lives in the bathroom. I just want to give it a bit more support for its flowering stems so that they don't rub on the windowsill so much, because I've noticed some of the buds aren't opening where it's been rubbing. And I just think if I give it a bit more support, it can think about flowering rather than supporting itself, even though I quite like the natural look of it dangling, but it might just be a little bit happier.
Before I get on with that, let's get started sowing some potatoes. I'm sieving some of my homemade compost, and it's amazing the things that you find as you go along. But generally speaking, once it's been sieved and you get the nice fine compost, it's pretty good for potting on. Here are my chitted Cara seed potatoes. I'm going to start just by putting that sieved homemade compost into the bottom of this large pot. And I'm pushing my luck this year because the pot's a little bit larger than I normally use, so I'm going to try 3 seed potatoes here. And I'm just topping them off now with some more homemade sieved compost. I'm not going to fill the bucket, I'm going to leave space so that when it comes to earthing up, there's plenty of room for me to keep on putting layer upon layer. And as you can see, they're nice and snug in their new home. And it's time for the all-important plant label. I'm just going to put them here for now on this raised bed. I've also taken up the time to pot up a few different varieties, so I've got some first earlies, second earlies, and also main crop varieties. Now onto my carrots. And I've got this lovely galvanised tub. I don't know what it would have been used for originally, maybe a little bathtub or something. Anyway, it's going to make a great container for growing carrots in, and it's already got one little hole on the bottom. And I'm just going to add in some more. Unfortunately, I don't have a nail, so I'm having to try my best at doing this with a screw, but I think if I get enough holes in, it'll do the job. And I think that's enough holes, so let's get this flipped over and planted up. I've got some compost here, which is 50% sand and 50% compost. Some of it is used spent compost from last year, but the plan is to fill it up with this and then top it up with some homemade compost as well. And then I'm just going to go for a bit of a top dressing of some peat-free organic compost, something to get those seeds really going. Now to give that homemade compost and the spent 50% compost and 50% sand a good mixing up, and take out just any large bits that are still remaining. With the carrots, you really want to have a fine compost so that there's no obstructions for the carrots as they grow down, because if they hit anything like a stone or a little bit of wood chip, something like that, that's where they'll fork and you'll see all sorts of funny shapes. So now I've got my top dressing of the peat-free organic compost on. I'm just going to firm it down, and I couldn't resist but buy a variety called Norfolk carrots. So you can see me just making a drill here for the carrots to go into. I'm just going to finely sow these along the rows, and then it will be a case of thinning them out a little bit later on to give the carrots enough room to grow. Now to just firm them down, cover up the seeds, and just make sure there's good contact between the seed and the compost. This makes sure that the seed knows it's time to grow. And voila! I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, do like and subscribe.